Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, here with the IMDb at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, and look who it is, it's Sir Davos, Liam Cunningham! Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen!
Hello.
So you're just out of work, right? Like, no job for you. War's over, we know who won.
I'm gonna go back to digging holes in the street or something like that, yeah. Looking for a start.
This was a big conclusion. Was it tough emotionally, wrapping something that's been in your life for so long?
It's very strange. I've never done a job for that length of time. I've lived hand to mouth as an actor for 25 years. And, it's a very strange feeling to suddenly be able to pay your bills. So when this finished, my accountant went into depression.
Where's that sweet HBO money, man?
Yeah.
We want the dragon money.
Where's my Rolls Royce? Keep going, man. Keep going. Any spin-offs? Yeah, there was all that. But no, it was gorgeous. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I know a lot of people kind of got annoyed when it came to an end. But that's because
nobody likes an ending.
No, exactly.
I mean, it speaks so highly of the show that you couldn't have honestly finished it in any way that probably would have satisfied people, because
Absolutely,
it's
100%.
something people wanted to keep going and going.
Yeah, and it was a thing. If we'd wrapped that puppy up in a nice pink ribbon, people would have just said we're patronising, we're condescending, you know,
Right.
And we couldn't do that. It was a grown-up show for grown-ups.
And trust me, you're not on trial here. We were all happy with it.
Not yet. I'm sure someone will put me on trial, but go ahead.
What was it like saying goodbye to the character? You got to every year when, you know, I'm sure every time you opened a script, there was a like, oh, am I going to die in this one? And you got to live all the way to the end, man.
And with a promotion. I went from Sir to Lord.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a pay grade jump. Really nice.
Well, he was honestly like the character that had like the purest heart, probably.
Yeah,
in all of Westeros.
he was described as the moral compass of the piece. And I think you needed one or two characters like that, because there was so much moral grey area in the show that you kind of needed. I always thought he kind of spoke up for the audience, you know, when he kind of went in and said, we can't do this, this is wrong. He was just kind of a voice of reason in a nest of vipers, you know. It was really hard to say goodbye to it after that length of time. I've never done a job for 8 years, and go back to your point about it's much different than a movie. You know, as you know, you can be shooting the goodbye on the first day of shooting. With a long-form storytelling like this, every time you got the script, it was like life. You didn't know what was going to happen, where you're going to live, whether you were going to die or whatever. And it's a really cool way of working. It's really, when you've got the quality of writing that David and Dan and George's stories give, you know, it's one of those jobs that's never going to come around again.
I would imagine it's been your passport to the world. Like, no matter where you go, people are like, the Onion Night and stuff like that.
Oh, no, it's great. It's great at American immigration. Instead of being now looked at suspiciously, they jump out of the box and get photographs with me.
Right.
It makes coming into this country a joy.
Right. Come on in, we like you.
You're welcome.
I would imagine not every actor or actress in the show is met with the same amount of warmth as you.
Yeah,
most people meeting Cersei might be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. They're throwing bricks at her from above.
You're girl Darth Vader. Get out of here.
Yeah,
they would absolutely welcome.
Oh no, they loved them. They loved them. Yeah, I've no longer got any problems getting tables in restaurants.
I would imagine.
It's fantastic. It's great.
Speaking of tables in restaurants, you go in a restaurant, they give you a drink. The show ended with a very famous drink.
What was that? The Dornish wine?
Yes. Actually, they all got drunk on it.
Yeah.
Who left the coffee cup on set?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I originally blamed Amelia, and then she said I don't drink coffee. And then Sophie Turner blamed Amelia. Amelia seemed to be coming up a lot.
Right.
I don't have the evidence. I can't convict, although the case against her is pretty tight.
To me, I'm just impressed it hadn't happened every episode.
I know. Well,
like they were able to keep reality out of a show that was so. Like, every time you turn the show, you're like, look at the money! Like, because everything
ridiculous.
was from a different world.
Well, when you take into account, like the Battle of Winterfell, now, for anybody that doesn't know, even high-end drama, as you'd know, you'd be lucky to get 2 weeks to shoot an hour.
Yeah.
We did 55 nights, 11 weeks of shooting.
To do all the outdoor stuff.
To do all the outdoor stuff on that one episode.
Wow.
And we normally, just to show you the difference in scale, we would normally from 1 to 6, we spent 6 months shooting 10 episodes. And on that last season, we spent a year shooting 6. I mean, for one thing, you can't say to HBO, scrimped on the budgets. I mean, they threw the kitchen sink at that thing, to try and go out with a bang on it. And it was remarkable, absolutely remarkable.
And when you wrap something like that up, time to get another job. So the Hot Zone is what you're working on right now?
That's
finished.
That's just gone out. I did that with. It was interesting because they sent it to me, and it was really interesting. I kind of like that scientific stuff, and it's the show. For anybody that doesn't know, it's about the Ebola virus. And
it's based on a book, Crisis in the Hot Zone.
Absolutely, which is a true story.
Yeah.
And if you think about this, the facts are that the Ebola virus was unleashed 10 miles from the White House in 1989.
It's crazy.
Luckily, it wasn't one of the vicious strains that we see at the start of this thing. But I remember telling my wife and daughter, and they're huge fans of the Good Wife and ER. And Juliana Margulies in particular, who's the lead in it. So as soon as I said, they said, who's playing Nancy Jackson? I said, it's Juliana Margulies. They went, you're doing it. There was just like no question. My wife and daughter cast me in that.
Right.
I had no choice. They wouldn't have spoken to me. But they were dead right. She's a joy, an absolute joy to work with, and she's brilliant.
What was the experience like going from shooting, quasi-period piece to shooting something where like, here's pants,
I know. Here's hazmat suits.
Yeah.
That was
you look like a real person now.
It was like being back in Game of Thrones with the hazmat suits.
Right.
Because we used to, when we were shooting in Spain and stuff, we had like 4 layers on and fur and all sorts. We used to have these vests, which were plumbed. They had like tubes going around them. We'd plug them in, and they'd send cold water around your body to stop us collapsing.
Because it was that hot?
It was that hot, yeah, and that's the glamour of filmmaking. But
and you're like, can't you guys just CG something onto me, like Robert Downey Jr.?
No, they don't do. No.
Nat Geo didn't have that kind of loop.
The hazmat thing was horrific. But Juliana, there's 3 levels in it, and the first 2 nearly killed me. And she had to wear one that was like 60 pounds in weight, and it's incredibly claustrophobic. I don't know how she did it, and I don't know how the actual guys and girls who have to wear these things and deal with a lethal pathogen are able to do their job. They're heroes. They're absolute heroes.
Did they tell you when you get the job, like you're going to be wearing a heavy suit, right?
It was no. They never kind of give you a warning. They just they say it through their hands. They go, "We've got these suits that you have to wear," and then they disappear before you can ask them any questions. So by the time you have it on, it's too late to get it off.
So you're trapped at that point.
You're trapped, big time.
What's it like going from something that's like, man, we've had 6 years to tell a story that keeps going, to something like we've got 6, how many episodes?
Yeah, we got 6 episodes, 6 hours. We shot for 3 months in Toronto and then a month in South Africa on the east coast, very near Mozambique. Very hot, like 100 degree, 85, 90% humidity. It was tough conditions, but we fantastic crew. Very different feel, and also a different responsibility because you're telling a real story.
A real story.
And not only that, the Hot Zone is set in 1989 with flashbacks to the mid-70s. But the scary thing is that today the second largest ever recorded outbreak of Ebola is happening. And if that gets on a plane, we're all in trouble. So that's one of the reasons.
Liam, it's Comic-Con, man.
Yeah,
we're trying to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, there's not much comedy in Comic-Con. Sorry for depressing everybody. I'll hand out the antidepressants later on.
Let's bring it back to Game of Thrones. The entire time you were working on the show, fun things must have happened. We saw all the Sturm and Drang on screen with people in pain and suffering and stuff. Yeah. But we've seen behind the scenes you guys enjoyed yourselves. Seemed like a very close-knit family.
Oh, we have a WhatsApp group and we talk to each other almost daily. There's somebody on it. It's an extraordinary. It was one of those kind of perfect storms. You know what it's like filming. It takes very little to put the whole thing off kilter. I mean, it's difficult to get done when it's going well.
Right.
And it was just like everything clicked on this. It was just, we had beautiful words to say. There was no, it was, if you'll excuse the expression, dickhead-free zone.
Yeah, that's good.
And we did have some fun. I mean, one of the best ones I heard. I mean, David and Dan weren't shy about pulling a prank. And Alfie Allen, the wonderful Alfie, who's nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah, he got nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah.
And the day he gets nominated for an Emmy, which is huge news, that's the guy who played Theon.
Yeah.
The internet found out that Lily Allen was his sister, and they're like, never mind the Emmy. That's Lily Allen's brother. She wrote that song about him.
Yes,
and that's
she did.
all they
that
talk
is about him when he was taking it easy.
Yes.
As we say in the song. Yeah, no, he was. When the guys they sent him a fake script, like a fully written fake script, saying, "Look, we're gonna kill you off at the end of this season," and he went, "Oh, okay, you're gonna have to take it. What can you do?" And he said, "But we're thinking of bringing you back." And he said, "What do you mean bringing me back? Like as a ghost?" Oh, okay. Am I going to paint you white every time you're seen? And he's going to be hours in makeup. So they spun this yarn around him with a fake script while he was on his holidays on a beach somewhere, like ruining his holiday. And they used to do things like that all the time. They're pranksters, these boys.
The universe had its revenge, or the internet did, rather, I should say.
Yeah.
A lot of people, as you mentioned, like some people are like, oh, I wouldn't have ended it that way.
Yeah.
As somebody who was involved, who do you think should have sat on the Iron Throne at the end? Like,
you know what was
writing.
wonderful? What was wonderful about the show, and I include, everybody in that show. As you know, it's an ensemble piece. We're there when we film. We're not there when we're not, and it's so huge and vast. All of us. I used to get up we had a simulcast, so when you were watching it here at 8 or 9 or whatever it was, I was watching it at 2 a.m. with my family on the couch at home.
Aww.
Who should have ended up? The weird thing is, there wasn't a week went by that we weren't all sitting waiting to go on. They were setting up a scene or whatever, where we'd look at each other in costume and go, "Who do you think it's going to be?" We were the same as everybody else at home. We were speculating, and this is part of the genius of George and the guys writing, is that right up to the end, you're kind of everybody is kind of going, "Who do you think it'll be? Who do you think? Who's your money on?" And that's absolutely, that's brilliant storytelling. That it's all about speculation. What's going to happen? And that's what keeps an audience interested. And they did it right up to the last ep.
Yeah, but you ducked it. Who did you want to see on the Iron Throne, Liam? I want your answer. I would honestly. I'm not just saying this because you're here. Sir Davos, man. He had the pure heart, and he was level-headed.
You can't kind of vote for yourself. I thought Samuel Tarley, Carice Van Houten, who plays Melisandre, she kind of said, if the world was a good place, Samuel Tarley should have ended up on the throne.
That's true.
But he was never going to be hard enough to make those tough decisions. And I'm not sure Davos was either. Maybe Jon Snow. Who knows?
Davos would have been an excellent king because he would never point fingers at anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he'd forward them, not those ones.
We got the hat, man, and we put questions in it, and we asked you to pull a question out and give us an answer, and then we'll free you into that day.
What's your secret superpower? Sleep. I can sleep anywhere. I can sleep on a rope.
The drop of a hat.
Absolutely. I think it's narcolepsy. I've narcolepsy light.
Did you ever sleep during Game of Thrones?
Yeah, there's a couple of photographs of me sleeping. Well, you had to. Well, it's like I describe filming, and you'll get this. It's hours of boredom followed by seconds of terror.
Yes.
That's basically it. So during the boring bits, of course, you'd always wake up in a panic because you think, "Oh my God, I have a 6-page scene. Why wasn't I practicing my lines?" You torture yourself. But occasionally, especially on the night shoots, man, at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's 32 degrees and you're full of self-loathing, and you're going from somewhere really hot into somewhere absolutely freezing, and when you're not doing too much in the scene, that's when you need to be professional.
Take the big nap at that point.
Absolutely.
Well, you never napped in any scene I saw, man. You were amazing, and we love you. Give it up for Liam Cunningham, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around for more IMDb at the San Diego Comic-Con 2019 later on.